Well, I've been talking mental health recently, and with me now is Jack Bridson, who we first met here from his free running antics some years ago.
That goes back about 7 years, Paul.
Long time.
Yeah, we've known each other. Sorry, please.
It's all right, but I mean, we're talking mental health, and
Mental health.
I think people may have known your story. You've had yours out there in the ether as well on Facebook. But I know with the current thing, and I know you've been contacting Adam. You also thought it was good to have a sort of a rundown on how it's affected you and maybe where you're going on your journey.
Yeah.
So where do we start? Because I mean, this is a tricky one.
Okay, well, I think
you're
starting
24 now, aren't you?
23.
23 now.
23, yeah, 23 today. I
on your
turned
birthday,
23 today. Yeah. We'll get to that actually, because there is a story behind that whole thing of being 23. But I think if we first started, like going back, 6-7 years ago, it was the Million Step Challenge. Yeah. We bumped into each other. That's actually in one of my YouTube videos. And I actually spoke about depression in my older YouTube videos on my original Jack the Clown channel. Yeah. And that progressed into being more fun videos, free running videos, a bit of everything really. And then obviously I had a few mental breakdowns. I had a lot of drug abuse, and at times I thought it was helping my mental health without realising in the long run it was just deteriorating. And it quickly happened, I guess. At first it was like, I'm having fun, I'm taking a lot of drugs, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling high. But then the next day I'd be like, oh, I'm not going to work today. And then eventually it started to realise that, okay, this is impacting my life now. And I've had mental health from such a young age, and we did the Becoming Jack Bridson. You weren't on screen for that, but we had the green background. We filmed maybe 4 hours. Yeah. We did quite a lot there. And so now, coming up to now, where we are now, I've travelled a long way since Becoming Jack Bridson, because we went from day one up until I think it was it August last year.
What can we talk about your story there? Because for people who haven't seen those things, I mean, you've really
so I guess
had an interesting life.
I have, very interesting. I've gone for I think spirituality was a really big factor, and still is right now actually, because my mum remembers the first experience more than I do, and it's quite interesting to think she knows more, but then it progressed to me becoming in control. But I've always known the difference between spirituality and mental health. There was a fine line, because I feel the energy or the aura, and if I didn't feel that, I knew it was in my head, and the voice would increase. And
so you had voices in your head?
I had voice, yes. I was diagnosed with schizotypal disorder, which is, it's not schizophrenia, and it isn't a personality disorder. It's sort of as if, the way I'd explain it is like a pyramid. So you got schizophrenia at the top, schizotypal disorder, personality disorders, bipolar, etc., etc. And I have personality disorders as well. So I have the traits from personality disorders, traits from schizotypal, which is more on the schizophrenia side, but not the full title, because I don't have everything.
And this happened from a young age, and you've
been
diagnosed and all this sort of thing?
So the diagnosis, the full diagnosis in total come up to when I was 16. I had my full. I think by the age of 13, I was diagnosed with ADHD, which I think a lot of young people get diagnosed with ADHD, or misdiagnosed even, to be more specific. But then I was diagnosed with OCD, anger management, Tourette's, depression didn't really come into it just that. At that point, they just noticed the Tourette's and OCD, but that was a huge thing, because my OCD, if I was in class, if I was sat how I am a little bit on this, just a little angle on the table, I'd get in trouble because I weren't sat straight. But I couldn't focus when I was sat straight. I could focus when I'm on an angle, because I can lean into my work, and then I can concentrate. I can actually do what I want to do. But some teachers wouldn't allow that. And I do remember one day, I do remember, like very much so, I was sat on the angle in math, and the teacher, she was having none of it. She thought, no, you're sitting straight. If you're not sitting straight, you're not doing the work. And I thought, I'm doing the work. I'm just sat on an angle. And I had a support teacher with me, and he was intervening a little bit. He was saying, just sit straight. I was like, I can't sit straight. I won't do the work. I want to do the work, but I have to sit on an angle. She was having none of it. She was in the uniform. She was in control. Oh. And it was from then I started to hate authority. But we'll go to that. And she shouted down into my ear. I can't remember what her words were, but I flipped out. I threw my pencil at her. I tried to flip the table. I didn't really necessarily flip it. It was solid down to the ground, but I give it a good like, and I started turning green a little bit inside. And I stormed out the class after telling her effing and blind, and I wasn't a very good person in school, but my anger management and Tourette's, a lot of the time I'd swear without actually meaning to. I still do now. I do swear quite a lot, and I don't actually mean to do it. So if I swear to apologise, I'm sure we can blank it.
Okay.
But yeah, I stormed out, and the fire alarm went off that same day within like 5 minutes, and I got the blame for it. At first, totally realised no, it was a.
When did you know though you were having such issues? I mean,
I think it was quite a late age, actually. To be honest, Paul, I think I was probably more 17 because that was when I first speaking about it. Because I never used to talk. I used to just let it soak in, or speak to not even doctors, and more CAMs at this point, and I'd speak to them a bit in private. And I remember the first time I said, like, I want my mum and dad, can you just leave the room? I want to talk to these guys separately. And I said, I'm seeing people. I'm hearing these voices. They're not harming me, but they're my friends. And they didn't really have much input. They didn't really help me at all. And it turned out that wasn't spiritual at all, that related. Not at all. I created imaginary friends from a younger age. I'd say anywhere between the age of 3 to 7, they end up developing into personalities, which become to be a personality disorder. So that was a lot to deal with. But I thought, maybe everyone does this. Maybe that's, I'm human. Everyone has the same experiences. But it turned out, actually, no. I educated myself a little and found it out, no, not everyone had depression. Not everyone was hearing voices in their head. Why was I different?
So much more to talk about.
There's so much more.
We'll have a part 2 of this.
We'll have part 2, yes, definitely.